If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know.
Spectacular. You know, I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound #1. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford.
Difficult. He needs to handle and maintain the speed and improve his power. That's what I did. Like, maintain your speed and improve your power.
Roy Jones Jr. has expressed a strong opinion that Terence "Bud" Crawford would dominate Floyd Mayweather if they ever stepped into the ring together. According to Jones, Crawford possesses the complete skill set needed to break down Mayweather's style. He highlights Crawford's sharp fight IQ, punching power, and adaptability as key traits that would push Mayweather beyond his usual limits. In Jones's view, Mayweather's unbeaten streak partly stems from sidestepping opponents who posed real threats, and Crawford, he believes, is exactly the kind of fighter Mayweather never faced.
You're leaning towards Crawford, is that correct?
I'm not saying I'm leaning towards him. I love both guys. Both guys are great fighters. Well, I can't say I'm leaning. I am leaning toward Crawford. I am. And not because Canelo is not a great fighter, but because I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Canelo. You feel me? So I don't know if Canelo is hungry. I know Bud is hungry. Bud stays hungry. I don't know if Canelo's hungry. Bud has never got the recognition for what he deserves like Canelo has. You understand me? So Bud is still hungry for that recognition. When you're hungry like that, a determined man, it's very hard to detour.
Roy Jones Jr. sees Terence Crawford as a fighter with rare, elite-level skills that most can only aspire to. He first points to Crawford's exceptional fight IQ, his ability to read opponents, make real-time adjustments, set traps, and shift tactics mid-bout. Another standout quality is Crawford's stance fluidity. He can seamlessly switch between orthodox and southpaw, making him unpredictable and harder to read. Jones also praises Crawford's precise timing and shot selection, using feints, jabs, and varied attacks to the head and body to maximize damage. In addition, Crawford's footwork and lateral movement allow him to create space, avoid punishment, and stay ready to counter. And finally, Jones emphasizes Crawford's power, not just in raw strength, but in smart, calculated punches that land exactly when they matter most.
Probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue, because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donnell. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
Roy Jones Jr. believes Crawford is operating at the height of his powers. Unbeaten, highly experienced, incredibly adaptable, and still driven. That combination, according to Jones, is something you don't see often. He highlights how Crawford has consistently shown the ability to adjust his style, carry knockout power through multiple weight classes, and fight intelligently both in and out of the ring. Now competing at 167.5 pounds, Crawford brings together speed, strength, tactical awareness, and veteran experience, a complete package that could allow him to dominate anyone in front of him. If ever there was a moment for Crawford to make history, Jones thinks this could be it.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome, and more angrier and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint, and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me. It's just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. You know, Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He
got hit with some single shots going out. You know, he's going out and you know Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
Yeah. And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Some critics suggest that a fight with Floyd Mayweather could actually detract from Terence Crawford's legacy. Rather than adding to his already impressive resume, including dominant wins over top-tier opponents like Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez, they argue it might look like a move motivated more by money than meaningful competition. This view stems from Mayweather's recent focus on exhibition bouts, which, while lucrative, are often seen as lacking serious sporting significance. Analysts warn that Crawford, who has carefully built a reputation for taking on elite challengers at their best, risks damaging that image if he's seen as chasing paydays instead of legacy-defining fights. They also revisit past critiques of Mayweather's own record. When he beat Canelo, for instance, the Mexican star was just 22 and still developing. And when Mayweather fought Manny Pacquiao, Pacquiao later revealed he had suffered a shoulder injury weeks before the bout, which many believe affected his performance. Adding to the debate is Mayweather's consistent unwillingness to offer rematches in closely watched fights, particularly with Pacquiao, which left many fans feeling that certain rivalries were never fully settled. In contrast, Crawford has built his career on facing and beating top-tier opponents while they were in their prime, strengthening the case that his victories carry greater competitive weight.
Floyd Mayweather is still greater than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation, but when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5 division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5 division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say their accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. There's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20 something plus. Bud probably got about 15, 10 wins that we could really sit here and name. Floyd's still greater than Bud in my opinion.
The relationship between Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. is a mix of mutual admiration and underlying rivalry. While both acknowledge each other's talent and accomplishments, their strong personalities and differing philosophies have often put them at odds. Roy has long maintained that he was the more naturally gifted athlete, having dominated across multiple weight divisions during his prime. Mayweather, on the other hand, leans on his flawless record and business acumen as evidence that he's the greatest to ever step into the ring. Their tensions intensified when Roy publicly questioned Floyd's claim to the TBE, the best ever, title, suggesting it overlooked boxing legends who paved the way. In response, Mayweather took aim at the decline in Roy's later career, implying that his legacy had been diminished by too many losses. While their rivalry was never about settling things in the ring, it has become a battle of legacies, a clash rooted in pride, contrasting achievements, and competing visions of boxing greatness.
What's happening, fight fans around the world? I know how y'all are. I know y'all enjoy this thing of boxing. I know we play games and people have their issues and people have opinions. It's cool too. I got opinions and I'm allowed to say my opinions or speak my opinions. And if somebody was trying to send me a subliminal message, it worked, because if you want to prove that you're better than me, I'm always ready. Wide open. Ready to go. It's called.
Roy Jones Jr. recently stated that Floyd Mayweather doesn't make it into his personal top 5 greatest boxers of all time. While he acknowledged that Mayweather could be considered a top 10 fighter, Jones believes his resume falls short of the highest standard. According to him, many of Mayweather's most notable victories came against fighters who were no longer at their peak. He pointed to timing as a key factor, and for example, defeating Manny Pacquiao after Pacquiao had already suffered multiple setbacks, in Jones's view, doesn't hold the same weight as beating a prime version of the Filipino legend.
Is there something that you want to elaborate on, or is there something that maybe you don't like about Floyd?
One thing I don't like is that you don't respect elders. You talk about Muhammad Ali got beat by an 8-0 fighter. That 8-0 fighter was an Olympian who was a monster, who, if you had a monster like that in your weight class, you wouldn't fight him at that time. You understand where I'm coming from? So, that being said, you're disrespecting the greatest fighter of all time. And if you disrespect him, you disrespect anybody. So you have no respect. But when you see me, you're gonna have some respect. Because if you want to get it, we can get it. I'm willing to go earn my respect.
But I didn't hear you say anything disrespectful about Floyd.
I never do. I'm not the disrespectful type of guy. That's not who I am. I'm the type of guy. The reason I'm not disrespectful is because when I say something, I'm ready to die for it. So if I say this, I'm willing to die for this. You understand me?
You stand on it.
I stand on it. You understand me? I'm not, like I said, I don't think LeBron is not a great player. I'm not one of the greatest players of all time. But if you ask me, in your opinion, my opinion, which I'm entitled to, you think LeBron and Mike. I'm gonna say Mike because I saw what Mike went through to get where he got. So I got my own reason why I'm gonna probably like Mike. I'm not saying just you're trash. No, you're not. I'm not saying you're not a great player.
Right.
I'm not saying you're not one of the top 5. Because you could be that. You feel me? And in most people's opinion, you probably are. Some people's opinion, you probably top 1. That's not, I can't say, oh, I'm right and everybody's wrong. No, that's just my opinion.
Right.
I'm entitled to my opinion. But I will fight about my opinion. Right. So if you got a problem with my opinion, whoever, call my house. It ain't changed.
Roy Jones Jr. has also cautioned Floyd Mayweather against stepping into an MMA cage, warning that it wouldn't be a level playing field. While he respects Mayweather's achievements in the boxing ring, Jones emphasized that mixed martial arts operates under an entirely different rule set, one that includes kicks, knees, grappling, and submissions, all of which Mayweather has never faced in a live fight. Jones even remarked, "Floyd weighs around 150 pounds. I'm about 220. I'd seriously hurt him," highlighting the major differences in size, skill set, and combat style that would put Mayweather at a serious disadvantage. In the broader conversation around a potential super fight, several seasoned boxers have voiced their backing for Terence Crawford, believing he has the tools to truly test Mayweather in a way few ever have.
Floyd Mayweather, top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10?
Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not top 5.
10.
He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
He fought Cotto.
Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great.
I agree.
All right, so that's not a great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley recently made a bold comparison, saying Terence Crawford reminds him of the legendary Sugar Ray Robinson. Lampley highlighted Crawford's rare ability to maintain perfect balance, stay in position, and deliver powerful counterpunches with remarkable precision. Qualities he believes haven't been seen with such consistency since Robinson's era.
Would like it if we kept it to MMA fighters trying out boxing. I think it's a lot safer for an MMA fighter to try out boxing. If you get a boxer inside the octagon, man, there's so many elements that they're unfamiliar with. The head kicking and the body kicking and the choking and the arm bending and the ankle twisting and all that. It's a lot, and it could be really dangerous for Floyd to join an MMA match. So I would strongly suggest he reconsider.
Would you want to fight him?
Floyd Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather weighs like 150. I'm like 220. I'll hurt Floyd Mayweather.
David Benavidez firmly believes Terence Crawford deserves a place on boxing's Mount Rushmore. Having claimed undisputed titles in 3 weight classes, Benavidez points to Crawford's undefeated streak, his consistent excellence across multiple divisions, and his win over Canelo Alvarez as clear evidence of his elite status. For Benavidez, these accomplishments elevate Crawford beyond debate, firmly placing him among the sport's all-time legends.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
In a recent interview with Shane Mosley, the former champion made a compelling argument that Terence Crawford currently stands as the more well-rounded fighter compared to Floyd Mayweather. Mosley highlighted Crawford's physical advantages, including his size, reach, and resilience, as key factors that could tilt the scales in a potential fight. He also applauded Crawford's skill in switching between stances, his adaptability, and the way he blends power with technical finesse. While acknowledging Mayweather's legendary defense and ring intelligence, Mosley believes Crawford's aggressive style, diverse punching arsenal, and ability to compete across multiple weight classes give him a distinct edge.
Well, I just want to give Terence Crawford a great congratulations. You know, he's reached a part in history that only so many fighters get to even accomplish in boxing. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. There's nothing, you can't take that away from him. Terence Crawford should be on the Mount Rushmore in boxing because not only did he go up 3 weight classes, he beat one of the best fighters of this generation. I don't remember any time in history where anybody has come up from 147 pounds and won the super middleweight championship. Not only just won, but the undisputed. He's won every single title. So, you know, man, that man, not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but as take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, we salute Terence Crawford.
Virgil Ortiz recognizes Terence Crawford as one of boxing's elite fighters, believing that very few, if any, at Crawford's weight class can best him, aside from possibly himself. Ortiz respects Crawford's combination of skill, smart ring strategy, precise punching, and physical strength that remains effective even as he moves up in weight. While he acknowledges the challenge Crawford represents, Ortiz remains confident, viewing himself as a genuine contender. Since securing undisputed super middleweight titles by defeating Canelo Alvarez, Crawford is widely regarded as one of the most formidable fighters in the sport. Many opponents shy away from facing him, fearing damage to their own legacies or the risk of a tough loss. Crawford has openly challenged fighters like Boots Ennis and accused Canelo of avoiding bouts against top contenders such as David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo. His promoter and others suggest that talks often break down because opponents are reluctant to face Crawford's challenging style or fear the consequences of defeat.
Fought both Canelo and Mayweather. You fought them both. Who did you think was better, Canelo or Mayweather? I know that's Canelo was saying it was Crawford better than Mayweather.
I was very impressed with Canelo at 21, but Mayweather was still technically more sound. I think Crawford is better. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. But Mayweather is definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
On the other hand, several fighters and analysts commend Floyd Mayweather not only for his quickness and defensive skills, but also for his strong mindset. They argue that his true strength came from an unwavering confidence, the belief that he was capable of defeating any opponent. Tony Jeff, for instance, has highlighted how Mayweather's mental toughness and self-assurance gave him the ability to take control of fights even before stepping into the ring.
I think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think
Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. You know, the jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
Favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration.
The debate over who's better, Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford, seems endless. Both have taken on the toughest opponents of their times and emerged victorious with commanding performances.
Mindset, they're really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
Fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work harder. If you think about losing, you're gonna lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. There was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete, or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of...
Oh my goodness, I said that was gonna happen. If Crawford was to win, we're gonna be seeing a lot of these debates on whether or not Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford is gonna be better. Now, this is gonna be a debate for a long, long time. I'm talking about one of those debates like LeBron versus MJ, Messi versus Ronaldo. It's one of those. And the thing is, I can get behind it. Let me go ahead and say this. When it comes to resume, I do think we give Floyd Mayweather the edge. I mean, he beat a bunch of champions. He reigned for a long time. While Crawford, his resume is heavily criticized, and he's just not getting, his kind of respect for beating Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. But if we're talking strictly off of skills, this is where things get really, really tough to talk about. I think a fair assessment of this matchup would be Floyd Mayweather wins from 135 and 140, while Crawford wins from 147 to 154. And I say that because I feel like Floyd's style changed once he got to welterweight. He became a more defensive fighter, and he just wasn't as much focused on offense. And knowing this, I feel like Crawford would have had a much better chance of handling him. And we all know, Crawford was an absolute monster at welterweight. But hey man, like I said, this is gonna be a debate for a very long time. I can't wait to hear all the talk about it, but I'm curious on your thoughts. Who you think wins in the fight, Floyd or Terence Crawford? Let's talk about it, and follow me for more boxing talk.
So, who do you think has the edge in the legacy debate? Is it Mayweather, with his flawless record and carefully chosen fights, or Crawford, who's taken down top challengers right at their prime? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.